Hi, I'm Mike Rothstein. Graduated from Syracuse in 2002 with a broadcast journalism major. Now I am a Michigan beat reporter and do the National Player of the Year poll in college basketball for ESPN.com and its Michigan team site, Wolverine Nation.
Awesome. So was this the plan when you were at Newhouse? Is this what you thought you would be doing?
Yes, no, maybe. I mean, I majored in broadcast, and then about halfway through I realized I used to have much longer hair, and I didn't really like shaving all that much. And you can't really get away with that on broadcast television. So, and I also liked being able to tell stories through written word versus 30-second sound bites, minute and a half video shots. And I basically made the transition, but couldn't make the transition with my major. So I worked at the Daily Orange and got a ton of experience there. And here I am, 10 years later. 10 years, 5 jobs, and 4 cities, I think.
Wow.
Later. Here I am. But so, and in a roundabout way, I'm doing video stuff again. So what I majored in ended up helping, but not exactly what I thought I'd be doing when I was leaving.
Awesome.
As far as the video goes. But the writing, yeah, it's about where I'm at.
With those 5 jobs in 4 cities, how did networking factor into that? I mean, were they people that you knew? Were they blind job applications?
A little bit of both. The first one was blind. I moved from New York to the middle of the Mojave Desert in California.
Wow.
So it was and I'm from Long Island, so it was a big culture lifestyle shock. When I flew in, I saw mountains and didn't know they were mountains because it was at night, and I just thought they were giant shadows, which probably makes me sound silly, but when you're a 21, 22-year-old kid, you know, sometimes life experience doesn't happen for you all that much. Every other job, there was some sort of somebody I met in the business, somebody I knew from Syracuse had gotten me an in. You know, I feel like at the end of the day, networking, at least in the journalism field, maybe gets you an in and gets your resume or your cover letter or your clips or your tape on the broadcast side up a little bit higher on the stack. But I really believe it's what you are able to do that gets you the job at the end of the day. Which some other fields don't necessarily know if that's entirely true. But I had help. Yeah, I mean, I'll be the first one to admit I had help. I knew people at other places or had friends of friends, and you know, the more people you know, I guess, to steal from the old NBC line, is a major benefit. And a lot of that, I think, starts in college with who you're able to network with while you're here, and who comes through as far as alumni and, you know, guest speakers and stuff like that, and then also your friends, because you never know where they're going to end up in 10 or 15 years.
So as you cover the Wolverines, how much of an impact do deadlines have on your day-to-day? We try and preach to our students that 5 minutes late just doesn't cut it. I mean, what would you say?
I'm on a 24/7, 365 deadline, so it's almost weird in that there are certain hard and fast deadlines that I have, but I almost feel like in some ways unless it's a breaking news thing, it's like there's a window, and I have to hit a window. And that's, I think, the way my editor and I work, is as long as I hit a window, we're good. And the window is usually pretty far out. So, and I've been, I would hope he would say, pretty good at hitting that window. But deadlines are, when I worked in everyday daily newspaper world, deadlines were crazy important. And if I saw it, I thought I missed a deadline early on, you call your editor, because usually editors are flexible and they can work with you because they're shuttling stories left and right. At least, again, on the print side. On TV, you know, there's the 11 o'clock news, and if you miss that, well, sorry, better luck next time, you lose. So deadlines are extremely important, but I think there's flexibility if you have good communication and work with other people. And that's, at the end of the day, what we all do. We're all in the communications business in one way or the other.
And with that 24/7 deadline, a lot of that is probably due to the fact that you're on Twitter, and there's this requirement to get the news out and get it out quickly. So if something happens to one of the Michigan players, you better be, right, one of the first to get that out. How has social media changed your job?
It's basically made me attached to my phone, sometimes to my girlfriend's chagrin, where I'm on Twitter constantly, obsessively, like very rarely. If I know, unless I'm going on an absolute vacation, my phone's always on. I have Twitter installed on my phone, and I'm looking at it because you never know when something's going to break. You never know where you're going to have to drop everything. And with the way, at least in the college sports world, the way programs are kind of tightening up things, Twitter becomes such a valued thing because players are breaking information on Twitter. Coaches are breaking things on Twitter because they're just talking about it. and it becomes a constant thing. I mean, I follow 940 people or something like that, and I think only maybe a quarter to a half of them actually tweet, and the rest of them I follow because it's like, well, he might tweet one day, and then I have to know about it. Right. So it's completely changed the game and made it what was already an evolving news cycle to that 24/7 thing we were talking about into almost an immediacy. But I think it's also made journalists closer to their readers as far as like more interactive. I have conversations with my followers daily about anything from How I Met Your Mother to, you know, why a certain Michigan player is playing. It can be completely varied, and I like that.
Advice to students who are sitting in the classrooms now wanting to do either what you do or a job similar to it, with so many who want to go and work in sports. I mean, it's every guy and sometimes every girl's dream. How do you set yourself apart, and what's your advice to them? Diversify,
practice, take advantage of, if you want to write, take advantage of the Daily Orange, because I learned more, and if some of my professors watch this, they'll probably get mad at me, but I learned more working at the O in a real world type of situation than I did in a classroom. You know, there are practical things I learned in a classroom, but there's a lot more I learned from my peers and from people who are older than me at the DO. And I think the same thing could be said at WAER or WJPZ or some of the other outlets that are here. Network. If someone comes on campus, go meet with them, because you never know when you're going to run into that person again. And most people, I think, are willing to help, or at least have conversations. And the third thing is just read. Read as much as you can, because if you're going to be a writer or a broadcaster or a reporter, that helps make you better. Because the more you read and the more good stuff you read, the more it's going to influence you and show you a good writing maybe, or good, you know, I guess watching maybe, you know, I don't know, ABC World News or something like that, makes you better. But that's, again, just my take.
Great. Mike Rothstein, class of 2002. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you.